Hello everyone, this is Prof. Buns, and as always, I have my amazing fiancé Weaselbility by my side.
Hello everyone.
And welcome to our great return, if I may call it that. So, Love, do you know when's the last time we posted to the channel?
2 weeks ago? I don't...
A month.
A month, wow.
Yes.
That's more than I thought.
It has been an entire month since we have posted anything to the channel. The last video we did was American Truck Simulator. Do not ask me what we were talking about because I do not remember. What I do remember, though, is that I was extremely sick.
Mm-hmm.
So let's... Now, before we start talking, Doggy and I get asked if we are near Houston. We do not give any details on where we live.
No.
I'm driving in the wrong direction as well because I looked at the chat. That's fine. It's not like we're an 18-wheeler or anything.
It's not like this is a narrow turn.
We did not reveal anything about our location, but we were affected by Hurricane Harvey, as was pretty much 75% of the state of Texas.
Oh, careful.
Which is saying something considering how large this stupid state really is. But anyways, the title of our stream, probably the title of this video, is all about us and Hurricane Harvey. I want to preface this. We do not live in Houston. That much we can say. Our apartment was not flooded. We were not evacuated or anything like that. We got very close to being evacuated, and we're going to talk about all that stuff, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about here. We did put out a video that I recorded from my phone when it was all still going on, essentially, because at that point I've gone back and I sound very frightened in that video, and it's because I was.
Yeah, it was really touch and go for us.
And we'll of course talk about all of that. But the most we can say is that we do not live in Houston, and we were not evacuated.
And we are currently safe.
We are currently safe, and yeah. And it's insane because as we're recording this, Hurricane Irma is currently doing its thing, and then we have Hurricane Jose, if you're literally any newscaster in the United States, is currently making its way to the Gulf. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing short of insanity. But I just wanted to say that if you're clicking on this video, you're watching this expecting to hear the story of us evacuating or just evacuees or people who are living in Houston, you're not going to get that.
No.
We're just talking about our experiences with the hurricane. And before we start that, I'd like to also just recap again on the past month. At the beginning of August, we went to meet up with our families to announce our wedding date to them, which we are also not talking about, but just that we have one set and we're not married yet. And then when we came back home, I believe our AC was broken.
Yes.
And that was broken for a very long time, which was great because there were some days where it was like 101 degrees outside. And then right after that, I got sick, which is when we recorded that video. And actually, after we were done recording that American Truck Simulator session, my voice went out.
Yeah, your voice went out, and then I got sick.
And you got extremely sick. Like, I was sick for about 3, maybe 4 days, with just some lingering side effects after that. Weasel was sick for a solid, like week.
Yeah, I guess my immune system is just weaker or something.
It was bad. Like, Weasel was really, really, really sick. And I don't know what it was. I thought it was allergies at first, and the way I figured out that it wasn't is when I took some Allegra and it didn't change anything.
Yeah, there was like a summer flu going on, which is awful.
Right, and I work at a Petri dish, otherwise known as a business that caters to children, children's museum. So I get to bring home lots of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get your your flu shot or whatever, but
that doesn't.
Those children germs just get in there.
You know, and there's more than just the flu out there. You know, you can just have the common cold, which has no cure. You know, you can get all sorts of stuff. Or the thing that happened, I believe, this year was that it was miscalculated what strain of the flu was going to be you know, very big, and everyone still got the flu. Schools closed in our area when that had happened. I guess I haven't mentioned what I'm doing. I'm taking in my vehicle to get repaired because it's hard.
Okay, I was gonna ask once we got here.
Yeah, it's got like 5% damage because goodness.
I think you're just circling it.
Because goodness knows I'm the greatest American truck simulator driver that's ever existed.
We have a plaque to prove it.
There we go. Whoa, I don't know what's going on with the background. The game's updated like 70,000 times. I'm assuming in preparation for New Mexico to be discovered.
I'm loving this like new wave horizon.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on 100% there. Whoa, man, look at that. Look at all that damage I've done.
Gosh, you can see the grooves on our tires.
So we're about 6 minutes into this episode. Let's try to find a little job here for us to do.
External contracts, our favorite.
Our absolute favorite. Wow. Not. Oh, it's like a quick job.
No, I thought you did.
No, it wasn't external contracts. So they're just not a lot. Oh, here we go. This is slightly better. Not really, man.
Do you have to click like the up route length, like?
Well, no. This is it.
That's all of them.
That's all they have. Huh. I mean, I guess we'll take this one. I guess.
Just like what other options do we have to choose from? Like from the sort by?
Oh no! This again. These are all the possible results.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
It isn't like a filter. We're not filtering route length. I mean, I that's weird. Let's warp to our garage. Maybe it'll change because usually we take jobs at the garage. Man, what a face! I forget about our face.
Our crazy Santa face.
Yeah, but anyways, we got like super amazingly awfully sick, and Weasel and I were pretty much ready to begin streaming again.
Once we were well.
And then all of a sudden the temperature dropped in our area, like by 10 solid degrees, which is a huge drop. And I was a little worried.
Yeah, I mean, at first you're like, oh, cool, fall's getting here early.
And then all of a sudden people started, yeah, I guess this is it.
Guess we'll do that one, right?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we started hearing talk about Harvey. And Harvey this, Harvey that. And it's funny.
I always forget that they name after real people. Or not real people, but
right.
They pick them from like the baby name book.
Pick them from the baby name book?
That's what they do.
I guess so. Which one's wipers? No, that's lights.
No, is it that one?
It's one of these.
Oh, no, that's your blinker. P?
Yeah, there we go. It is raining. Did I not do it right?
You gotta, like, double click it.
I clicked it a bunch of times. Click, 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 click. That's fine.
We'll figure it out.
It'll come to us. Wow, that really does mess up our mares, though. That must look really bad for you guys. Oh yeah, all of a sudden people were talking about this Harvey thing. Like I did it somehow. And then all of a sudden people were talking about Harvey. And we were like, oh, okay. It's a thing. You know, it's forming in the Gulf.
Yeah, and I think whenever we first heard about it, it was still a tropical depression?
Yes, it was a tropical depression, which I had never heard of. Where we used to live, hurricanes just gave rain.
Yeah.
And even with this one, all it did was give rain to our hometown. They weren't under any significant threat.
Mm-hmm.
The city that's close to our hometown, though, did experience a lot of problems, but that's just because their road structure is
city
horrendous.
Planning has a lot to do with this stuff.
Yeah, and so we saw that we were going to get a little bit of rain in the weekend. And this is about Monday of the week before Harvey made landfall. And all of a sudden it became not just a simple thing. All of a sudden the sky started getting a little bit darker as the week went on. The temperature continued to drop. And then the air got really humid at about Thursday when Harvey stopped being a tropical depression and was now in the forecast for being a hurricane.
Well, it had, by Thursday, it had hit tropical storm.
Yeah, hit tropical storm, but they were pretty sure that it was going to be a hurricane. And the problem was nobody knew where the heck this stupid thing was going to go.
Yeah, we would watch the Weather Channel, and there would just be squiggles all over Texas of where it could go.
And there was this big thing, and I've learned a term now called the cone of uncertainty, which is one of my favorite terms of all time now, which is when they just have no gosh darn idea where the heck a hurricane's going to go, and they just read, where it could potentially go. And the thing is, where we live was in that. Gosh, I'm going to hit up.
We were very uncertain in our cone. At first, just a real quick aside, I always thought cone of uncertainty meant the hurricane itself, because hurricanes are sort of cone-shaped, and that it was uncertain what it would do.
Right. So it's called a cone of uncertainty because it's... I don't know if there's a stop sign there or something, but I just went... Oh, it's this thing. I see. It's called a cone of uncertainty because where the hurricane or the storm is, you pretty much know where it's going to go. But the farther the distance is from that point is when it becomes uncertain, so it spreads out. So it looks like quote-unquote a cone.
Yeah, I learned that.
But anyways, we were in that. We were in the direct path of that. And the thing is, when Hurricane Harvey made landfall at 10 p.m. on Saturday, I believe it was Saturday, we were still in that zone. And the thing is, you might be saying to yourself, oh, well, obviously they live next to Houston. Why are they being coy about it? No, this thing spread all the way out to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Like, all of Central Texas was encompassed in this quote-unquote cone of uncertainty. And what Weasel was talking about is when they had this quote-unquote cone of uncertainty, they also had potential pathways that the hurricane could take. And it really and truly looked like the meteorologist just got an Etch-a-Sketch and told them all to draw a straight line. It was just going all over the place.
I think
no,
it's the next one.
It was just all over the place. And we're not joking. Even the path that Hurricane Harvey eventually took, it still like looped around and then like squiggled a bit. It really did go all over the place. And so by Friday... Again, we were talking about Saturday, but by Friday, it started to rain where we live. Where is it?
It's back there.
Oh, I see it. Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to get that?
I think you were supposed to go around.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, by Friday, it started raining. And that particular Friday, I worked, and I worked for 2 hours. And it was lightly drizzly.
Yeah.
And I worked for 2 hours in the morning. Come on.
I think you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really good.
Nice. And then we got, like, literally our phones kept going off every other second. Flash flood warning extended. Tornado warnings. Tropical storm warnings. Hurricane. Flash flood. There was one that we had gotten. Surge warnings. Like... things we had never even seen, like you and I had never even really experienced before. Our TV was pretty much glued to the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Because, again, even when Hurricane Harvey made landfall, I think it was in Corpus.
Yeah.
We were still in the projected path.
Yeah.
And
it was sort of near Rockport. I think it was
well, it did tear through Rockport. Eventually, but it made landfall
near Corpus.
Near Corpus, and what's really scary is we were that Saturday I was supposed to work in the morning, and I was super worried because we did have flash flood warnings, and within 12 hours there were some roads in our town that you just couldn't drive over anymore.
Yeah,
they were underwater.
Submerged.
And so I was really worried because I was still expected to go into work that day. And I literally got in the car and turned on the radio, and all of a sudden the radio went, brr, brr, and it was like flash flood, like I think it's flash flood watch. It's warning then watch.
Yeah.
And it was like flash flood watch in effect now, and it was like, and it was essentially like, do not drive on the road. If you are, park somewhere and seek shelter. What the heck?
Do you have your headlights on, or do you not have them on?
I mean,
Well, that's
they're
a new
not
one.
on. Yeah, that is a new one. I literally got in the car, and then my boss called me, and he was like, do not come into work.
Was that whenever you forgot your keys?
Yes. Oh, that's right. So I got into the car, and it was just pouring. I got into the car, and I was supposed to open the museum that day, and I realized I didn't have my keys, and I was like, shoot. So I went outside, got the umbrella, got myself back in.
Turn them on.
I guess so. Yeah, I got back inside the house. Weasel gave me the keys, and that time that it took for me to go to the car, come back, and get back to it, I don't know. I would have been on the road. I really would have been on the road, and I'm very thankful that I wasn't. Because when I did get back in the car the second time, that's when the flash flood watch was in effect, and or whatever the higher of the two is, I don't remember anymore. And then I was called not to leave, and I hadn't even, put my car out of park yet. And then I was told to call all my other coworkers who were supposed to come in that day and also let them know, because he was doing some damage control at the museum. And I went inside and didn't leave for the next 5 days.
Yeah, we were.
So at that point, oh gosh.
Oh, so close.
What were you gonna say, love?
Oh, no, I was just going to move on to whenever we went to go, or when we had to decide that we needed to go to the store.
That's far into the future.
Yeah, I get my days mixed up. It's weird looking at the rain and trying to think about rainy days on the game.
Yeah, so that Saturday, we are really trying to recall all of this stuff. That Saturday, at that night, during the nighttime, Hurricane Harvey became a Category 4, and then it made landfall, and completely just devastated a lot of stuff. But at that point where we live, it was supposed to continue raining for the entire week. So from that Saturday until the next one, it was supposed to be raining, which is concerning.
Yeah.
That it was it hadn't even been 24 hours, and already, or it just had been 24 hours, and already the town we live in was flooded.
Yeah.
So that was very concerning. Can I get a little light there? Oh, it's the reflection on the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the rain officially stopped Monday. So then I didn't leave the house for 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, yeah. Not 5 days, 3 days. 5 days is how much food we had.
Yeah.
We had 5 days worth of food in our house. So once things started getting really bad and the hurricane actually hit, pretty much our entire town went insane. That night, I went to go get gas, and everything was fine. By the next day, Friday night, I went to go get gas. By the next day on Saturday, when you weren't supposed to be driving, people were going to stores and just filling their carts with everything they could get their hands on. They were getting all the gas they could possibly get out of the gas stations.
Including filling jerry cans, which you're not really supposed to.
Yeah, and just completely wiping shelves of things. And the thing is, all mail in this area that we live in directs through Houston, and there's a lot of distribution centers that come from Houston. So even when the storms stopped where we live on Tuesday, a lot of places didn't finish restocking until a couple days ago.
Yeah,
and
we had tried visiting like restaurants and stuff, and they were like, "Sorry, we literally don't have like any soda syrup," or
Guys,
know, like
McDonald's. McDonald's. We went to a McDonald's because we thought, hey, maybe they'll at least have something. Nothing.
I think you could only order off their value menu.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have McNuggets. So.
Yeah, they were out. They were our one of the, at least that one that we went to, closed for at least a day or two because they just didn't have anything. Yeah, it flooded. There's some videos on our Twitter of just what it looked like. Our porch completely flooded. Some people's apartments completely flooded. Like, just the water got in.
Yeah.
Our hallway is slightly lower than the ground, and that pretty much became a small creek.
Yeah.
We got a bottle cap, and it just floated all the way down our hallway, and the hallway outside the apartment.
Yeah, we don't really have a hallway in our apartment, but
yeah, we have a hallway, but it's like a foot long.
Yeah. Thankfully, our apartment didn't get damaged. I know that a lot of other apartments in this area did.
Oh yeah.
Even
yeah.
Today, which is the 11th, they're still doing like repairs and cleanings and all this other stuff.
So there was one time a long time ago where, who did I hit? Whatever. There was one time a long time ago where our toilet exploded, and water went everywhere, and it soaked our carpet, and we got this. The apartment complex got this company to help clean it up. Well, the thing is, there's only like 3 of those in the town that we live in because there isn't normally a large need for them. And all of a sudden, you've got the greatest need in the world for these types of people.
Yeah.
So even when the storms did end on that Tuesday before, I think September started on Friday.
I think so.
So it wasn't even September yet. Like Weasel said, they're still fixing our apartment, and that's that again. We do not live in Houston, and we did not get evacuated. I personally think that if it did come all the way until Tuesday, or not until Tuesday, for the whole week, if it did go to that Saturday, we probably would have.
Yeah, we probably would have.
So we probably would have had to evacuate. There were a number of times where we thought about going back home. And there was a lot of information going around all over the place. Weasel and I were mostly concerned about where we were living, because the city was not setting up, or where we live was not setting up any shelters.
Yeah. And so another thing about shelters is they usually don't take pets. Or they don't have places for you to put the things for your pets. So like Iggy, we have her things to travel, but there would be no place for her litter box, or to put her food or water down. So we were thinking about going back home because our parents' house, we can give Iggy a comfortable place to be.
Right. And that Monday, literally, guys, the day before, and we had a friend who, was it Sunday night or Monday night?
I think it was Sunday night.
Sunday night, tried to go to our Walmart to get food. Nothing. They were still open somehow.
Yeah, there were no gallons of water.
Yeah, no water at all. Not even like sometimes they'll sell those special gallon jugs of like the baby formula stuff. I think we did some grocery shopping on Friday.
Whenever they first announced the tropical depression, we went to the store.
Yeah. Because our apartment complex, the water always goes out. When
like even if it just rains a little bit, our water goes out. So we had water bottles and canned food and stuff, but we were already prepared.
Yeah, but we only thought it was going to be
A couple days.
And then all of a sudden it became, this whole week, and it became this very concerning thing where we didn't know how we were going to make it because we had like 5 days worth of food, which would only take us until Thursday, and again it was supposed to rain until Saturday. So we were very focused on what was going on in our area, and we heavily considered going back home, and I'm really glad that we didn't, because when everything kind of cleared up in our area, and news was starting to come in about the surrounding areas, the entire route we take to go back home, some of those towns are destroyed.
Yeah, there was heavy flooding, buildings destroyed, roads.
Trailer parks gone. Roads
still submerged. Like the worst thing that happened in our town, like considering the roads that were submerged, is that potholes appeared, or potholes that were repaired sunk in. But these other towns' roads completely just like gone because they were just gravel and stuff.
And a lot of Texas, if you're not from here, there are 3 types of places: giant mega cities, city-like towns, and then places where like 5 people live.
Yeah.
There's no in between. So either you've got your Houstons and San Antonios, and then you've got your like Cotulas.
Yeah, or Fort Worth.
Well, Fort Worth is like next to Dallas.
Oh, I guess so.
I'm trying to think of like places that are near where we live. McAllen is a city, and then you've got places like our hometown, which are like Brownsville. I don't think Brownsville's a city. It's just a very large town.
It's a large town.
And then like where we live, there's a lot of, well, just anywhere, no matter where you live in Texas, there's a lot of rural areas, and so most of those places got flooded very quickly, and things started looking very dire by Monday, excuse me. Remember, everything kind of just stopped on Tuesday. Things started getting very dire on Monday when sewage started overflowing.
Yeah. That was a real problem.
So there were 2 different storm drains or sewages, whatever, that overflowed and contaminated some like public water sources. So if people had wells and things like that, there were some roads that Tuesday. I think out of all the roads that had closed, the majority of them closed that day. Schools were again, remember. Not in Houston. Schools closed.
Yeah.
The school year was supposed to start for some schools. Some of them closed. Some universities in the area also closed. Guys, it was scary.
It was really scary. And then, especially because Harvey basically did a loop-de-loop, and on the Weather Channel they said that it could possibly just keep looping back into the ocean and getting stronger and last for 2 or more weeks. Like, they had no idea. This cone of uncertainty was really uncertain. We had no idea how long Harvey could last. Until
that Tuesday or that Monday afternoon, that red zone that we were talking about, we were still in it. And it would either move from, we were at the very, like, we were towards the tail end of it, or we were just right smack dab in it. And we just, and our parents, we kept bouncing back and forth with like, oh, we're going to go back. Oh, we're not going to go back. Oh, we're going to go back. Oh, we're not going to go back. Because we just didn't know what we were going to do.
Or what would be safe to do.
And the main problem was I had work on Monday and Tuesday. And Monday was that work was closed that day. We didn't have to go. We had an event. The museum was going to be open on that Sunday, closed as well. Yeah, we like, it was just scary. Like, I can't even imagine how it was for Houston and Corpus and Rockport and LaGrange. That was one of the towns that we had heard of that also got really, really affected. because Houston obviously really bad. It's a city that has a higher population than some states, but there were some other places like Rockport and LaGrange that were also hit really, really hard.
Yeah, those were the ones we heard.
So we're gonna end this episode here. Again, high note. Weasel and I are fine.
We're fine. Our house is fine.
Our house is fine.
Itchy's fine, if you're wondering.
We're pretty much at like almost 100%. I think our community is maybe like at 98% okayness. So it's over and done with, and I hope that for those who are getting hit by Hurricane Irma, and just there's more than just the hurricanes hitting the United States. There's other ones all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys are doing fine, because the hurricane never directly hit us, and we're still feeling the effects of it, almost a month later.
Yeah.
Or like half a month later. So I guess in the next episode, we're still going to keep talking about this stuff. And also kind of what Weasel and I did, the preparations we took, and something really cool my work did.
Nice.
For all of this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and pause right here. How much time do we have left on this trip? I don't know. I guess we'll see. So I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you stick around for the next one. And wherever you are, I hope you have a good night, good morning, or good afternoon.
Bye, everyone.